Cheers, legends. Sammy from Short and Stout Beer Reviews. Bit of a random live this one. I've got 3 West Coast IPAs by Range Brewing out of Brisbane. They did a series that was called Coast to Coast. I think it went for like 3 or 4 weeks. And what it was they were using the same hops in West Coast IPAs and hazies and sort of comparing the two each week. But because I'm a West Coast boy, I've just went bang and bought a heap of the West Coast. Didn't worry. I think I got one hazy out of the bunch. So I thought I'm just going to compare all the Westies together. So I'd say it's probably like 3 weeks consecutively of West Coast. So we've got a West Coast IPA, a double dry hopped West Coast IPA, and a double West Coast IPA. So West Coast Dipper. So yeah, there'll be 3 different Westies. So 3 bases, obviously. They're all different percentage and different hops. And I thought I'll start from lowest to highest and yeah, just see the difference in them. I've got hashtag proper glassware, old school. So yeah, when I first got into Range, this was the first glass I got from them. Pretty cool. And yeah, I just thought I'll do like a little pour of each one and just compare them. I was going through the fridge trying to work out what I wanted to review because I hadn't done a beer review today. And yeah, good 3 beers to do. I can carry on for a while afterwards. Cheers to Angie and Keith in the chat, who I was just hanging out with on Craig's stream. So yeah, Craig from Kent Beer Reviews just did his 10-year anniversary stream. It was real cool. Went for probably 8 hours, I think. I joined at about the 3 hour mark. So yeah, he had a heap of like good friends on there and yeah, good times. So let's start off with this first one. So it's called Where It All Began. So it's pretty much, yeah, going back to the times when Westies first started, or American IPAs as they call them. So yeah, this one's only 6%. And I'll read what it says on the back. Introducing the Coast to Coast series, where we pair each coast against one another to see which is ultimately the best. We're keeping the hops the same to really let the style do the talking. Where It All Began is a West Coast IPA, which we've hit with Citra, Rakow, Chinook, and Crush Cryo. Bright and crisp, take like the classics with a modern tropical and citrus twist. Let's do it. It's just started to pour down rain outside. Damn winter. So yeah, I'll probably just go like a half glass of each one. I'm going to kick on after this. So it's the main reason why I've sort of picked out a couple of beers and just doing like a half amount on the stream. So yeah, pretty accurate in the camera to what it is in reality. Maybe I feel like it's more of a yellow, like a straw. In reality, it looks more sort of dark and orange in the camera. But yeah, very lively carbonation. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can't really see it on the camera. It's pretty active. About a 1 to 2 finger head. I would say medium body, very clean and clear. It's got that sort of look to it like it's water with a dash of lemon in it. Yeah, let's go with. It's pretty heavy, that rain. Oh, I just remember. Nah, actually, I think I've just got towels on the clothesline at the moment. All week when it's been raining, I've had a heap of clothes on the clothesline, and they've just got absolutely drenched, and it's so hard to get them dry again after that. So yeah, the hops in this one were Citra, Rakow, Chinook, and Crush. So you sort of got a bit of a mixture there. Yeah, definitely getting tropical fruit. It's more of like a bready, biscuity backbone. Certainly none of that sort of old school caramel toffee. I'm getting like pineapple and passion fruit. Some orange, some lemon. It's not really like piney or like, I don't know, like that foresty feel on the nose. It's more about the fruit. Nah, no peach, Angie. Peach. Yeah, it's more, I feel like it's tropical and citrus leaning. It doesn't smell like it's going to be very bitter either. Like on the nose, I would say it's like quite subdued. Jack's outside playing with a bone in the rain. There's a combination of just heavy rain and Jack like gnawing on the bone. I can hear like both. Anyway, let's tuck into this first one. Cheers, guys. Oh yeah, there's definitely some pine there on the palate. Jackie boy. You know how there's some beers you just got to have a couple of sips and sort of gather your thoughts before you sort of can tell exactly what's in there. Yeah, I feel like white bready base. It's almost got like a big sort of German lager base. Yeah, passion fruit, pineapple's not as, it definitely was there on the aroma. It's there on the taste, but a little faint. Like you're getting sort of orange, lemon. It's funny you said peach, Angie, because I feel like on the taste there might be a little bit of peach. A little stone fruit. It's actually pretty like light on carbonation, so it makes it sort of, it's almost like it's slightly watery, but not like in a bad way. It just sort of seems a little like, you know how sometimes you get beers and they're highly carbonated, like champagne sort of thing. This is like a little flatter. Slightly herbal. Get like a yeah, like a slight sort of spice note. It's easy drinking. Like I'm putting it down pretty quick. See, the fact that it's got Chinook in it, it's like I sort of I don't. I do get the pine in the flavour, but I sort of expected more. But like, it's one of 4 hops. I'm looking forward to the double. I tell you that much. But yeah, I feel like it's well balanced. It's not too sweet. There's certainly not much sweetness at all. The bitterness is pretty light. It's definitely more of a fruity take on a West Coast, more of a modern West Coast, which is weird because it's called Where It All Began. So you'd think it'd be more of a proper American IPA. But yeah, like, I do enjoy it. One thing that, yeah, obviously that lack of carbonation, that sort of like, yeah, is a bit of a negative, but it could even just be like something to do with the canning. Sometimes it's not really the actual brewing of the beer itself, it's what's happened to it sort of afterwards. So it'd be interesting to see how the other two go. Um, I bought all 3 of them from the same place, and they always look after their beers. So let's try the next one. So the next is 6.6%. It's called Run It Back, and it is a double dry hopped West Coast IPA. So the hops in this one, actually, if I read the second paragraph, it's, yeah, covering it. If I read the first paragraph, I've already read that before. Run It Back is a double dry hopped West Coast IPA, which we've hit with Nelson Amplifier, Mosaic, Citra, and Motueka. So yeah, it's only got one hop the same as the last one, which is good, makes them different. Throwing it back to the good old days with some dank from the Nelson and Mosaic, a nice hit of citrus, and balanced out with a crispy finish. Dank. Yeah, boy. Yeah, it's got that same look, like it's going to be real light in carbonation. It's probably cleaner and clearer than the last one. Um, I would say the colour's pretty much the same. It it probably looks a little more orange on the camera, this one. But yeah, just in reality, it's got that sort of like straw, medium straw colour. One finger head. I feel like this one's not quite as lively as the last. Yeah, but it's very clear. You can definitely see through this one. Yeah, medium body. The head on it's not as like, yeah, not as sort of prominent. It's only like probably a half finger. Let's go with. Yeah, you can smell that dankness. Ooh, good swirl of it. Wow. Yeah, so it's sort of like forest floor, like sort of damp, like damp timber, floral. orange. It's a bit harder to pick the fruits out in this one. Yeah, orange, pineapple. That's what it is. I was thinking there's something in there and I just can't. I reckon it's white grape. Because yeah, it smells like sort of like a Sauvignon Blanc, like a white wine. Yeah, white grape, passion fruit. Yeah, a touch of like berry. God, I love Nelson. Such a good hop. I'm not getting like that. Now that I've sort of thought about like what hops are in it, like lime. Quite often, yeah, with Kiwi hops, especially Motueka, on the nose, like lime can be quite dominant, but it's a bit of air to it. It's definitely opened up. Smells a lot better than when I first poured it. Hmm. Anyway, let's give her a whirl. Cheers. Yeah, definitely white grape. Passion fruit, pineapple. Yeah, orange, lemon. Still not getting lime, which is a shame because I'm a lime boy. Yeah, quite dank. The pine's not huge in it, but it's there. You just get like that damp, floral, forest floor, sort of like, yeah, like woodsy, sort of cedary sort of note. And as the next beer suggests with the name, that's exactly what I'm thinking right now. Best Coast. West is best when it comes to beer, anyway. Not so much geography. I feel in Australia, East is way better than West. I won't comment on the US or the UK or any other countries. Leave it up to them. Lamb boy. It's funny when Joey was showing me that clip of me saying that. It was like when I was from the motel when I when I took a spill. Yeah, I can already comfortably say this one is winning. It's winning the race. But we have a double IPA coming up next. Yeah, it's got those slight sort of weedy vibes, just being as dank as it is. But yeah, as I said, like sort of like wet floral sort of. It's like when you go through Like one thing that I always think of because like it's in my life, like as in something I regularly do is go through like my nearby forest. When you drive through there during the winter time and everything's wet, you get that particular smell, and that's what it reminds me of. But it's sort of similar to like if I don't know if it's a thing in America and the UK and that, but in Australia we have gardens where you'll have particular flowers that are grown sort of indoors or in an enclosure, and you'll have like this marquee or like a some sort of thing over the top of them, and then like there's all this like mist, like a water mist over, and you just get that particular smell. That's that's what this reminds me of. It's sort of like that and a combination of like white wine. But yeah, there's I don't know, there's just something awesome about like if I drive from where I live down to the coast, 90% of that trip is going through the forest. And yeah, if it's like been raining, it's just this awesome smell. Wind the windows down, just drive. Don't even need music on. You just drive and you just take it all in. See, I just looking at this glass, it just brings back great memories of first getting into range and how good their beers were. Their beers are still phenomenal, no doubt about it. But when I first got into them, their beers were like just they were ahead of the game in Australian brewing. It was like we were getting our own sort of treehouse here in Australia by these guys, just with their limited releases. And it was like I was so excited whenever they brought out like a new beer. And yeah, now their beers are like just as good, probably even better than what they were. But it's like everyone else is sort of caught up, and you can get beers of that quality anywhere now. It's like, yeah, it's a different world. No, that's why that's I sort of thought that's why I'll do a couple. I'll do a beer review where I can get a couple together, but then I'm only drinking a little bit of each because then I can kick on and yeah, continue on with these beers. It works out well. I'm a thinking man sometimes. I'm looking forward to this next one though. Double West Coast IPAs when done well. Yeah, boy. So yeah, the two things that I would want more of in these beers so far, more bitterness and yeah, more like sort of fizzy sort of carbonation, bit more like prickly. They're just a little bit sort of I don't know, light in carbonations, almost like they're borderline flat. They're not flat, but as in it's like it's on the way to flat. Number three. And I'm not sure if there was like another one, like another West Coast in the Coast to Coast series. I'm hoping it was only the three, so then I'll cover all of them. But there could have possibly been another. If anyone knows, let me know in the chat afterwards. But let's read the one on this. Best Coast is a modern West Coast double IPA to complete the Coast to Coast series. So this is definitely the last one. And then I reckon the 2 weeks before it with those two, it's just whether there was another one before the 3. Brimming with Simcoe, Cryo, Crush, Rawaka, Galaxy, and Citra for a tropical and stone fruit explosion, finishing crispy, clean, and dry. Yeah, that's one thing too. Both the beers, because they don't have that sweetness, they're being quite dry. But the bitterness isn't sort of fierce, so it's not like, I don't know, it's only sort of a moderate dryness. I love doing these side by sides. It's just funny because this one's a random, just, yeah. A spontaneous, if you may. And the good thing is I've got plenty left in each can. I might have to do a cuvee though, let's be honest. So same again, same colour. Clarity similar to the second one. Better head on this, probably 2 finger. Yeah, carbonation looks fairly good. Nice clean glass. You've done a good job there, Sammy, cleaning that glass. You're a good boy. Yeah, did I say medium body? Anyway, let's go with. Oh, that actually smells more dank than the last one. I'm getting that old school Simcoe. The old cat. Cheers, Joe. Good to see you, brother. Yeah, I'm getting that dank caddy note from Simcoe. Some like mixed berries, passion fruit again. I don't know what it is, but just about every beer I have that has like a modern hop in it, I always get passion fruit. Yeah, I get grapefruit in this one. Like just on aroma, you can tell this one's like very, very dry. There's like, yeah, very, very little sweetness. So I feel like they've all got probably a very similar backbone. It's just, yeah, they've just added more to them. It's not like, yeah, there's no caramel toffee. It's not like a grainy feel. It just feels like yeah, like white bread and like cracker, like biscuit. Saltine cracker, as they say. Graham cracker. Who the fuck's Graham? Yeah, it's like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like in New Zealand hops, Angie, there's some sort of like, I don't know what it is, but the notes in it, I just always seem to get passion fruit with like even Australian hops. It's like a, yeah, close derivative or something like, you know how like hops and weed are like cousins. It's almost like hops and like the passion fruit, because the passion fruit's sort of a similar thing. I remember, like, I've probably described it a few times, but when I used to live in a mate, like live with a few mates in my hometown before I moved to where I am now, the these older ladies that lived over the back of us, they had a real fucking messy backyard, but they had this passion fruit plant that used to dangle over our fence, and you'd be sitting on the back porch and it'd be like right behind your head. And I just remember it being a sort of, it was always a real pleasant sort of smell. And it sort of, yeah, like it had a similar sort of thing to it like hops. So it's almost like maybe passion fruits like one of the sort of closer fruit plants to what hops is. And maybe, yeah, like being Australia and New Zealand being southern hemisphere and only being able to grow certain plants, and that maybe like passion fruits sort of like that's why it's a common sort of note in our hops. I don't know. I don't know enough about that sort of stuff. I wish I knew more. I feel like my knowledge with hops and what characters different hops have is pretty good, but about the actual growing and breeding and that sort of thing, I don't know a lot. Yeah. Well, they have actual like terpenes now. I think it's like a liquid form, and they add it to beer to give it. I'm pretty sure it's liquid. If it's not liquid, it's like an oil or yeah. And they add it now to beers to make them more dank or more weedy or more like yeah, like it's cool. I've actually got a black IPA in the fridge at the moment. It's got terpenes. Yeah, pardon me. So I described this, but I haven't drank it yet. Cheers. Oh man. Wow. I just got like a huge like berry note then. Yeah, it tastes like it sort of tastes it's weird because you're getting this green, like sort of piney, grassy, sort of foresty green sort of notes. But I'm also getting like a mixture of like strawberry and raspberry. It's really weird. And then you're getting like, yeah, tropical fruit. It's quite complex, this bad boy. Passion fruit's massive. Passion fruit's been huge in all three. I reckon there's some peach in this one. There's a little bit more bitterness in this beer, but it's like I obviously prefer a lot more. The bitterness and the sweetness are dialed right down, so they've obviously gone for yeah, like just a quick what when it comes to hops in the brew, the less you leave them in there, the less bitter it'll be. So if you want a really bitter beer, it's like you're putting hops in and you're letting them boil for ages, and that's what brings out the oils and makes it a lot more bitter. The shorter you do it, it's more about aroma and flavour. So yeah, I feel like with this one or this series in particular, the last three beers I've had, yeah, they've pretty much just it's been a very short time span of how long they've had the hops in. And as the second one suggests, like said, that it's double dry hopped. So a lot of the characters you're getting is more from like just hops going in for like a short amount of time or after like fermentation. Yeah, this one's good. Bloody oath, dude. Yeah, I picked these three up and a red IPA and one of the hazies. I thought I need to do a range binge. I hadn't had any for a while, so I picked up 5 beers in a Otter's Promise, which is a bar in Melbourne. They're good with like buying online. They're really quick, and if you buy 12, you'll get a special deal, and they don't charge much for delivery. And yeah, I'm like, oh, I'll do a couple of them together, and then I thought, fuck it, today I'll do the 3 West Coast. That'll work. Oh, it's good. I think I have to do a cuvee though. Let's be honest. All three together, boom. But yeah, would go in as it's gone on. It's got better and better. So yeah, obviously my pick out of the three is Best Coast, the West Coast Double IPA, and then second favourite was the middle one, Run It Back, which was a double dry hopped West Coast IPA. And then where it all began, West Coast IPA third. I feel like this to me was like solid, nothing special, whereas those last two I actually really enjoyed. So it's sort of like there was a big jump from this one to the other two. But yeah, let's do a little bit of each together, shall we? Yeah, that last one's awesome. See, it's one of those West Coasts that I shouldn't love because it's got a lot of negatives with what I adore in that style. But yeah, it's like there's certain elements to it that makes me just think, fuck yeah, it's awesome. So a little bit of each. So the rain stopped outside, and now I can just hear the dogs chewing on the bones. Now, so Cuvée. Let's get into it. I tell you what, I can't wait to hear some tunes to go with my beers after this. I've been listening to heaps of different music of late. It's been good. You got to keep your finger on that pulse. You got to always be seeking new shit. Don't be one of those people that gets set in your ways and doesn't adapt to change and listens to the same stuff. Always seeking more. Get it in ya, as Angie says. Yeah, that one works. That one works, definitely. Because you got you got three different beers. They're all got the same malt base, so yeah, you're getting sort of the best of all. I wouldn't say it's the best pick. Sometimes you do a cuvee and it's like better than all the beers by themselves, but yeah, it works. Yeah, boy. So yeah, I don't normally give sort of ratings for when I do side by sides like this, but I think I will in this case. As I said, Best Coast to me was the pick of the bunch. Really enjoyed it. I'm probably going to say, I'll say 4.4 for Best Coast. I'll say 4.3 for Run It Back. And then where it all began is probably like 4.1. I don't know. I could probably go higher with each one, but yeah, it's around that anyway. Best Coast, if it had more of a caramel toffee and a bit more carbonation to it, and that would have been like sort of elite level. Well, not elite for a Westie anyway. So cheers, Keith, brother. We'll catch up soon, dude. But yeah, I'm done here. Thanks everyone for chiming in. Anyone that watches it back, let me know. If you've had these range beers, what the hazies were like in the series, or whether there are any other West Coasts in it, because I feel like I've done all of them, but maybe I missed one. We'll see how it goes. But yes, time to kick on. Not sure what we're doing now. Possibly going to Angie's channel. So just being Angie, who's here in the chat. I think she was maybe doing a live. Could be somewhere else, not sure, but kicking on for a few more anyway. So thanks, peeps. And I'll be back with probably some more English beers. Good call. Here we go. This one's for you, brother. Cheers, peeps.